things have taken a turn for the worst with the old USU board. I believe it lacks world-class leadership, fiscal responsibility, agility, and just a first-rate political instinct, to be honest. Yeah. I've been confronted with such allegations only yesterday with my interview with Pulp. I take these allegations very seriously. I find them deeply offensive. To anyone that thinks that, I would like to ask, where's the evidence? Implementing a Sydney University school uniform, I think that is a first step into bringing decency back to this campus. Not your traditional uniform with socks and leather shoes and ties and blazers. I believe something more modern, something like a polo shirt, a wide brim hat that's sun safe, and Velcro shoes, because I'm of the opinion that laces are very, very indecent. To my knowledge, no. On the books, I'm fiercely independent. I would consider myself the most independent of all independent candidates. I think the USU should have conviction in its politics. I believe that it should represent the interests of the students, but it should also represent the issues of higher powers. Right down the middle, and just go with that. As long as it doesn't conflict with funding, of course, because that's #1 priority.
Before we move on,
yeah,
can we get some refreshments?
Yeah, we've brought some refreshments for today, actually.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Thank you, my dear assistant. Oh, James, you've shot me in the leg here. What is this setup here? The old warhorse has been in this game for a very long time, and I'd hate to see him go, but if it's the right choice, mate, no hard feelings. I don't deny that climate change isn't real. I'm just skeptical of how it affects this campus, so to speak. I wholeheartedly support the 12-week semester. I think it's a little too short, too long, to be honest. Like, what are you gonna do for all that time? I reckon just like power through it, 5 semesters. Look, I've had many messages. I believe that I hold the balance of power in this election, so to speak. I love everyone that's running this year. They're all great kids, but as far as who I would pick as the best, I have no opinion on such a matter. I would have to look at their policies in depth, which I actually already have, but I'm not at liberty to say anything just as of yet. No, I wouldn't. There's no low I wouldn't steep to. No swamp I would not enter. Look, none of them have come to me at this moment. I think such a statement is transactional. They have to do something for me first before I even consider doing anything for them, you know. Current board, they're a good bunch of kids, but I just think sometimes, in fact most of the time, they can just be ever so slightly way too charitable. The beer gut of over student expenditure is currently spilling over the belt of ever-tightening fiscal austerity. They've been too generous with the jobs they've handed out. I think the key is innovation, privatisation, equality, fraternity, doggos, and celebrities on campus. Clubs and societies should be able to fund themselves. If they cannot fund themselves, they should not be able to exist. Such funding, I believe, should be diverted to a much grander, a much more ambitious project. A project that none have seen before. I believe we should create the biggest yellow USU bench this campus has ever seen. The one in Courtyard is pathetic. You need 1 step to get up it. I want there to be an elevator. You know, the public has no real interest in knowing such facts. They don't understand the trials and tribulations that bureaucrats have to go through. It's all very, very difficult. That's why so many of them get divorced all the time. Would you guys like a cocktail? Sorry, I only brought 1 glass. I haven't tried it yet. Whoops. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. You can't be even-handed in such operations. You got to go all in or not at all. And I'm all in. I believe the age of humans getting a wage, getting insurance is over. I'm not in the business of handing out garlic pizzas. I'm in the business of making money Obviously, profit comes first before anything. You gotta be making money moves. Lobster bisque, Sydney Rock oyster, Veuve Clicquot. None of this beer and muffins. Ethics. What is ethics? I'll tell you what I do know. I know power. I know finance. I know a lot of people in Westpac. Does that surprise you? Probably not. We are going to open up a fracking enterprise where the current quadrangle is at the moment. That glorified sandcastle is nice to look at sometimes on a sunny day, but I've heard reports that there are exorbitant amounts of natural gas to be found just underneath the quadrangle. Part of my policy is to frack said quadrangle, and we'll be using student super and funds to invest in such a venture, which will only bring more profit to this esteemed establishment. No. Such positions are grand. I hope to be in such a position. I believe they should be granted privileges on campus. I want a proper chauffeur, black Mercedes. I want people to know who I am when I show up on campus. As far as I'm concerned, the term BNOC must come back. It has to come back. There simply cannot be a campus without a BNOC. And I will be your BNOC. The old bloke's a good mate of mine. We go back to lacrosse, back at the Double Bay Club. I think there needs to be more bureaucracy in this establishment. You can't even trust a student to get their assignment in on time. How can you trust them to run, let alone such an esteemed establishment as the USU? They're a good bunch of kids at Pulp, but Pulp is what I get at the end of my orange juice. The real responsibility, the real power, the fourth estate, one could say, is with Honey Soir.
Le Mistral va s'habituer à courir sans